Beautiful. Bitcoin is above 46K again. Is this a sustainable move? Is this the beginning of like the real bull market? Or is this just one last pump before we have that final correction, before we go into the bull market? Man, opinions are so divided right now, and that's very understandable as the market is super unpredictable. So let's take a look what we can expect. Why are altcoins not pumping with Bitcoin right now? And what's the move we should make? Is it a good moment to just buy more in the picture of the longer time frame? Or should we wait because Bitcoin is now basically sitting at its current cycle high, and we should cool off a little bit first? Well, welcome to the Fomo Factory. Subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Don't forget to like the video. It would help me so much. If we can get like more than 150 likes on every video standard, I will be pretty happy, man. I'm not a bit boy or anything, but yeah, then again, I don't know if I like crack that much. Let's take a look. Bitcoin, $46,250 at the moment of recording. So what it just did is, if you look at the daily chart, it's quite interesting. Bitcoin was already sitting at that $45,000 level. We got the ETF and we got a huge sell-off, and that sell-off was an 21% candles to the downside, basically. So in a matter of like 2 weeks, it was 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, we saw a correction of 11K, and the strength is definitely there. Now, of course, this has something to do with the ETF, because ETF money is now actually flowing in, right? I said before, like, hey, this whole run up, this had nothing to do with the ETF. That's just how the cycle moves. The cycle, always like the beginning of the pre-halving year, right? Bitcoin goes up, but usually it also goes down. Well, that big move down, we haven't really seen that yet. The biggest move down was basically this move right here of 22%. And this move was pretty similar, 20%. Now, this move was also pretty similar, was also 21%. If we look, however, and I have to put it on the monthly chart, this is 2023, right? Now it's 2024, but this move 2023, comparable to 2019, right? We also got a hard run up, and we went down, if we don't include the COVID wick, with 52%. In the year before that, we went up here as well. We found a bottom, we went up, and we went down again with like 40%. Like, what the actual hell? So usually Bitcoin has massive corrections before the halving actually starts, right? If we do take a look at this chart right here, you can see it as well. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but for the new people, usually we go from the bottom, we go up to around the golden zone right here on the Fibonacci retracement, and we get that rejection, 38%. Here as well, we go up, we get exactly to the 618, we get a rejection, 40%. Here as well, we went up exactly to the 618, rejection, 53%. What did we do right now? We went up exactly again to the 618, like, it's scary how that works. And we got a rejection, but this rejection was just 20%. So now I'm in the camp like, hey, if we do what we usually do, then this wasn't the correction yet that we were waiting for. But I'm also open to the idea that, it now starts to get a little diminishing, the losses, right? So that we don't see 50, 40% corrections, but maybe 30, 20. It is possible. But two things that are still making me cautious. One, it's a big difference, right? 40% or 20%. It's like half. If it was like 30, I'd be like, okay, we came close. But now we made half, and compared to the last cycle, not even half of the move that we usually made. So that. And also, if you take a look how long this correction took, we topped out right here in June 2019, and we went down until November 2019. Here, it took from June 2016 till August 2016, so 2 months. And here, it took from August 2012 until October 2012. So also 2 months, right? So the minimum at least of such a correction is 2 months, right? Now we topped in January and it's now 1 month later, right? So time-wise, it's too soon to say, right? Like it's too early to call like, hey, was this the correction? Because usually we take a lot longer. And even if we do get like here as well, we went down 35%, right? But from there, we went up again with 35% basically, right? But overall, that was the correction and it was making decent lower highs. Now, the thing is that if you compare it to this top right here, yeah, we have to break like 50K to make a higher high, actually, right? Although this was just a wick, it is a lower high that we are forming right now. So we are just not there yet. And I know, it's like the time to be bullish, like, hey, after the halving, you will see me be full bull, right? Because there was no time after the halving where Bitcoin did not go parabolic. But before the halving, I'm bullish, but I'm cautious, right? Because again, we are in the middle of this move and that it could have shorter term pumps. That's possible. That's what happened here as well. And if we go back to this cycle, I bet you that it happened here as well, right? What happened here is we went down with like 30%, but then we came up all the way again, also 30%, right? So it happened every time so far. So the fact that we now came down like 20%, yeah, okay, cool. And we now went up like almost 20% as well. So we can even go up a little bit more with actually 20%. Oh, that's 46,200. That's in this chart exactly where we are, by the way. So down 20%, up 20%. This is what happened every single time, right? And still we went down after that. So again, this is not me being bearish or saying we will go down. I'm just saying like, hey, this is what happened every single time. So be open to the idea that now is playing out the same. All in all, that's shorter term stuff, right? If you're trading the market, then nice. And to be honest, I have a very small Bitcoin short open and I started with that from 43K. Now it's 46. I don't care. It's like with a 3% leverage and Bitcoin has to go to 400K to liquidate me. So that's not going to happen anyway. But I'm just adding to that short every time Bitcoin goes up. Why? Like I said, because every time in this stage of the market, Bitcoin goes down before the halving and then we go up, right? And I'm not saying we go all the way to 20K or anything like that, but we should see a little push to the downside if we do what we usually do, right? Why, however, are altcoins not pumping with Bitcoin? Like, not a lot, right? If you look at Ethereum, yeah, it is pumping a little bit, right? Ethereum this week is up 7%. That's nice. Bitcoin is up 8.5%. So Ethereum is not even really that lagging, but altcoins overall are, right? That's because the dominance is going up again, right? The dominance is again showing strength. And in my opinion, also the dominance, it is not like that bullish, right? So I've talked a lot like, hey guys, I'm in Bitcoin, I'm not buying altcoins because the dominance is going up, so I can convert my Bitcoin into altcoins and buy the lowest price for altcoins anyway with my Bitcoin. But lately I said like, guys, done with that. The dominance looks like it is topping out. And based on this chart, it is, right? Also, because we are still making lower highs. So the dominance could go all the way up to 54.2%. That would still be a lower high. So we really have to break above this, like, let's say 55% level for the dominance to turn bullish again. That takes a significant Bitcoin move to the upside. Therefore, Bitcoin, I think, has to break the high. So I don't know if I can see that happen, but the dominance is showing some, shorter term strength. But still, if you look at these lines, hey, if this is the channel, lower lows, lower highs, then it's clear, right? If we do take a look at the Bitcoin, so the Bitcoin dominance is showing how much Bitcoin is dominating compared to everything else in this crypto markets, right? But Everything else is also stables and Ethereum. And not everybody cares about Ethereum. Some people want to be in altcoins, right? So we can take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, but we compare it to the total crypto market without USDT, without USDC, and without Ethereum. So we can now see how Bitcoin is dominating compared to actual altcoins, right? And if we do take a look at that chart, what you clearly see is that Bitcoin has been outperforming the complete altcoin market for 2 years now, right? But if you ask me, it really lasted until June 2023. And since then, you know, it's weakening. There are no higher highs anymore. It's like it is falling down right now. It is falling down. Although we are in a short-term uptrend right here. See how this goes. Let's see how this goes. But I think it is soon time for altcoins to finally catch up a little bit, right? The dominance is sitting at the same level as where it was in June 2023. Now, if you do take a look at the altcoin market, June 2023, that's here. The altcoin dominance is, or the altcoin market is way higher, right? So how come? Well, what do you think? Like Bitcoin is way higher. Bitcoin doubled. So basically, the altcoin market just doubled with it, right? So if you feel like, yeah, altcoins, they were really nice, they were only going up because Bitcoin was going up. If you want to see an alt season, you want this chart to go down heavily. And in my opinion, we are now sitting at some pretty, decent resistance right here. We can push it a little higher maybe, but we are coming to pretty decent resistance. We went all the way here. I think that was the top though. And eventually, and I think that's going to happen at the end of the year, we will go down. And that's when we finally see an alt season, right? For the people that I know that alt season is often trending on Twitter and a lot of YouTubers talk about alt season. But we haven't seen an alt season since 2021. For the last 3 years, we haven't seen an alt season, right? Even this thing in June 2022, yeah, it was a correction right here, but it, higher high, higher low. It was just a hard uptrend and a hard correction, but it wasn't an alt season, right? An alt season, Google it. It's when altcoins outperform Bitcoin. Well, if we do take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, so how much Bitcoin is dominating compared to altcoins, I don't see that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin right here. Bitcoin has outperformed altcoins extremely hard. So if we really want to make a fuckload of money with altcoins, what you want is this chart to go down while Bitcoin is going up. That's the period. If you witnessed it in 2021, you know how fucking crazy it gets. For the people that came in after this and you already saw gains on your altcoin bags, then, I have some good news for you. That was nothing yet. Because if this goes down while Bitcoin goes up, that's the time where you see altcoins, overnight do a 5x and a day later another 2x and then a small correction and a week later another 3x and everything goes crazy and there's no logic anymore. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Things are getting way too overvalued. There are all these shit meme coins with $50 million market caps, which are getting rocked again and like crazy shit. Like these are things that if you now, for example, look at an altcoin, let's take an altcoin that we definitely all know. Let's take Chainlink, for example, right? $18. That's a Chainlink going like from $18 all the way to $60 in like maybe a week or two. Like the things that you feel like, yeah, that won't happen. It happens in an alt season. Really, it happens. If you, for example, take a look at AVAX, still has some room to go to that $150, right? Could happen in a matter of a couple of weeks. Okay, here as well. This was that alt season, right? AVAX was sitting at $9 in July. In November, so not even half a year later, it was sitting at $150, right? It did a 15x in like 5 months. Absolutely retarded. That's what I think is going to happen by the end of the year, beginning next year. right? And why then? Well, simple, because so far, always, we have the halving, 8 months later, let me put it on the monthly chart, with the halving, 8 months later, alt season. We have the halving here, 8 months later, our second alt season. Now we have the halving in April. Hey, if we do 8 months later, then we can have our third alt season at the end of this year, right? Could be a little sooner, could be a little later, but hey, this 8 months, 8 months, why not guess 8 months, right? It's what it is. So in the shorter term, Bitcoin really doing fantastic, really having some strength. Again, I'm prepared for a shorter term correction. And with shorter term, I mean within now and like 2 months. That doesn't mean that it cannot go higher within now and a week, for example. Hey, we can go to 50K, maybe, I don't know. Right? But overall, I think within the coming 2 months, we should see a good correction. If not, then hey, then there are some clear diminishing losses this cycle, right? Like I said, 38% down in this cycle, 39% down in that cycle, 53% down in that cycle. And we have like, yeah, a wick. It's like not even the monthly was still green, right? So a wick of like 20%, which got bought up again. It doesn't seem like it's realistic to what we usually see. Also, if you take a look, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Out of the 14 months lately, Bitcoin have just seen 3 red months. 14. And we had 3 red months. That's incredible. That's fucking insane. But it also tells me like, yo, cool off a little bit now, right? Like that's not usual business, right? That's not usual business. So just for you to know that, you know, if we do have a correction to 35 or something, it sounds like, what the fuck? It's more what the fuck if it doesn't happen, okay? So be prepared that it could happen. The altcoin market, this is the others chart, so the top 125 excluding the top 10, better than the total 3 that everybody's looking at actually. I did that before as well, but that also includes stable, so hey, how fair is that actually? Still ranging basically. So when it comes to the altcoin market, yeah, this week we are up 5%, right? But it's not that spectacular because here we went up 11%, here we went up 1%, here we went down 10%, here we went up 6%. Like so far, it's just a regular week. In the altcoin market, nothing spectacular is happening right now. As long as we are ranging here, I'd say like, yeah, guys, it's not that interesting. Either we have to break above this or break below this. And in the meantime, any move here seems like fucking bullish, and any move back down here seems like fucking bearish. But all in all, it's just a range, and it's like not even a big range. If you look at it like this, and you put it a little bit in perspective, right? It's like, okay, when do we finally break out? Like, come on. Anything else? I don't want to look at specific altcoins today, really, because, like, again, there are, of course, some altcoins that do better than the others, but overall, they are not doing anything interesting, actually. USDT dominance is super interesting. It's going down back to support again. If this breaks down, then we can see a pretty big move for the Bitcoin and altcoins price to the upside. Yeah. I expect to bounce around this area, though, to be honest. It's too strong support right now, but we are testing it really a lot. And yeah, I don't know, man. If you look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, right? So overall, if you have Bitcoin and you want to buy altcoins, and you be like, oh, I missed the bottom. Yeah, like you missed the exact wick bottom. You missed that by 44%, but you're buying basically the lows, right? If you want to buy altcoins with your Bitcoin. So that's not that bad. It is, I don't know how this line is drawn, actually. I don't know what the fuck I did. Yeah, here we go. So altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, they are sitting at some decent support right now. I must say that they are struggling with this bull market support band, and let's see if it holds up. If it doesn't, then I can imagine that we will retest this line eventually, and that means that altcoins on the Bitcoin pair could go down with like 14%. Again, that doesn't mean that altcoins go down on their dollar pair, because if Bitcoin goes up, then altcoins could also go up or stay flat. But on the Bitcoin pair, if you have Bitcoin, then yeah, it's a good time to DCA, in my opinion, to put some Bitcoin into altcoins. It could definitely go down more, but hey, are you waiting for this line to really test? Or is this actually already a good level? If you want to go back to the high, we have a 119% move to go, right? So overall, looks like a good spot to me, definitely. So yeah, I want to wrap it up right here. Just a quick update on the market, on how I look at things. Nothing really too interesting. Bitcoin is pumping. Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair is breaking down. The Bitcoin dominance is going up. Altcoins are breaking down against Bitcoin. Altcoins on the dollar pair are not doing much. Leave a like. 150. Let's go for 150, guys. Tomorrow I'll be back with a quite interesting video. And this week I'm gonna drop, by the way, my, I don't want to say price prediction, but my analysis for the Bitcoin price by the end of the bull market. And a lot of people might feel like, dude, that's never going to happen. Let's analyze. Just let's analyze and see what's possible, because I think we have a pretty interesting bull market coming. Take care.